Welcome to the Why Not podcast, hosted by Chrissy and Yvonne. In a world where everyone asks why, we're here to ask, why not?
Hey everyone, my name is Yvonne and I'm 29. I'm a body positive feminist yoga teacher. Been on this journey of self-discovery for the last few years, really just learning how to take better care of myself, fill my life with self-love, and just learning how to be kind and gentle to others along the way. I'm really interested in all things mental health and personal development.
Hi, my name's Chrissy. I'm a personal trainer, gym enthusiast, and part-time equestrian. My goal here is to help people feel better about themselves by helping them strengthen their mindset and their body image. And I want them to be able to do things that they never thought they could believe possible. So if that sounds like something you want to do, I want to help you.
Hello everyone, you're very welcome back to Why Not Podcast. Hi Chrissy.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so good.
You're trying really hard to sound enthusiastic this time, aren't you?
I'm actually really hungry.
Good luck. I just ate, so I'm no longer hungry.
Yes, well, my dinner is coming and it is steak, so it's okay.
Oh, that's amazing. I just had a tiny oven pizza.
This is why I don't want to microwave it. Because I'm like, I'm not microwaving my steak. I want that shit
Well, that's fair.
straight off the pan. It's going to be a good one.
However, we have digressed from our subject for today.
Yes. So today, everyone, we thought we might talk a little bit about advice that we've received over the years that's really stuck by us and helped us to develop as people.
So, Yvonne, we'll start with you. What would be the first piece of advice that you would say that stuck by you and helped you progress?
Okay, the first piece of advice is, I don't know specifically who this came from or who said this or where I picked this up along the way, but it's you've got to give to receive. And I just believe this with my whole heart. I feel like it's always helped me in so many ways. So basically the idea behind it for me is just that you can't expect, it's just on so many levels. You can't expect to get something without giving something. So I think it works in the sense of your time. Like if you really want to achieve something big, you're going to have to give your time to that thing in order to receive what you want. I think the more you give, the more you get in every circumstance. So if you're going to, work really, really hard on something, you're going to reap the benefit. But I also believe this works in the sense of like, if you are broke and you really need some money, go give your money away to someone. Like, and I know that sounds crazy, but whenever,
that does sound crazy.
I know it sounds weird, but giving leads the way to receiving. So this is what I believe. Like if you put it out there to the universe, like I'm so abundant that I can just give this shit away, then the universe is gonna keep that going for you and fill your life with abundance.
Oh, like it's interesting obviously the money part, but I totally get the other stuff that you're saying is like, yeah, like you can't expect to get something when you haven't done anything. You know what I mean? Just so many people are like, why don't I get good at this? It's like, have you tried? No. You're like, well, that's why.
It's this idea of lacking, that you're lacking the thing. So like say what you want to achieve is like a promotion in your career and you're not getting it and you're like, oh, I don't have that and I deserve it. I should be getting that. Oh, it's so annoying. I don't have that. And this lady does blah, 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 blah. Like all those feelings are valid and everything. Okay, feel your feelings, but also you're living in the lack. You're living in the lack of having the thing rather than the feeling great in what you do have, being proud of yourself for like having a job, or being proud of yourself for how far you've come, or being proud of yourself for the tasks you do on a daily basis in your job that makes someone else's day easier. And that's more like living in the abundance rather than living in the lack. Then also maybe give a bit more, like maybe if you worked a bit harder or gave a bit more than the old 9 to 5 or whatever, then maybe you will receive more.
I think as well, people don't like to admit that. Like, oh, that just didn't work out. Yeah, but did you try? Yeah, I did. But like, did you give it your all? Yeah, no, I did. But like, did you really? I did like an
Yeah.
hour a day, and you expected what, miracles?
And also, just to know, like sometimes it doesn't work out and stuff, and that's fine too. But yeah, I
Hmm.
think this happens a lot. Like people don't give enough and expect a ton back. Same thing with friendships, with relationships. Like, again, you've got to give to receive. If you want this, that, and the other from your partner, maybe check in. What are you giving? Could you give more? It's just a piece of advice. I really can't tell you where I picked that up, but it works. If I'm ever broke, genuinely, where I'm like, oh shit, how am I going to pay my rent? I will give someone money just because.
Yeah.
And look, it's kind to give people stuff and it's really nice, but also when you give, you receive. And that's something I try and live by.
No, that's really good. Like, I think good way to think.
Okay, number one piece of advice from Chris.
Okay, this one actually just came into my head. I had thought of two other ones, but I think this one's a really good one and it follows on nicely from what you were saying. You can't give from an empty cup. And I did only hear that recently. I mean, like the last 2 years, but it's really true. Like, not take away from what you're saying there, but like it kind of goes for like if you're helping everyone and never helping yourself, you're going to crash at some point. If you give and give and give and you're never refilling and taking time for you and looking after yourself, you can't provide that for other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so true. So relevant right now as well, I think.
And I think people don't realize that they're so focused on other people, then out of the blue something happens or there's a breakdown. They run themselves into the ground with work because they just haven't taken any time off. And out then it's just that's it. It's like it's just you're drained, you're irritable, you don't want to talk to people anymore, you don't want to help them, when really all you need to do is do a bit of self care and look after yourself a bit.
Absolutely. I heard a thing there recently that was like, I can't remember where I heard it or where I saw this, but it was like self-care is the least selfish thing you could do, or it's the most selfless thing you could do, which I just, yeah, that is like completely. I mean, people sometimes consider self-care or like self-maintenance or whatever as selfish, but it's so
Yeah.
not. Like, you can't function without it.
Exactly, yeah. You have to look after yourself. And you shouldn't feel bad about that, taking time to look after yourself or taking a day where you just do what you want to do, you know, stuff like that. Like I say, both of us have that position where we have one day a week where we refuse to take any work on. We refuse to. Sometimes I might go for a bit of exercise, but even then, like I'm not bothered exercising. But it's just a day where you just flake, do what you want to do, look after you, and then that keeps you good for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
That and naps.
Naps essential. Yeah, I have my non-negotiable day. I think we've talked about it before. The day of self-maintenance. I will do all the little Yvonne self-care things that I might not always have time to do. And it's absolutely essential to my week. If I lost that day, oh, I'd be very upset.
But like, yeah, you need it though. You need switch off time as well. Like, cause of both of us being self-employed, is may not work 30 hours a week, but we work it over the course of 6 days. So you need, like, you don't switch off. You mentally do not relax. So you need to have a day where you're like, no, I am not involved.
Yeah, and we work in a weird way as well, don't you? Like, I know my days generally are like busy in the mornings and busy in the evenings, and then in the middle of the day I might have some random spare time. And I've often had the comment like, "Oh yeah, but you've so much time in the middle of the day," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a work day. Like, it's I'm not just like free for those hours. It's just like I don't know. It
Yeah,
just
cause
still feels like a work day."
but like, yeah, you're free technically, but you're going back to work. So it's not like you might have a nap or something just to chill because you're up early. Like someone who does 9 to 5 and finishes at 5, and that's them done until the next day. Like we're
Yeah.
done at 12, we'll be back in again at 5.
Yeah,
So you're
and you
not really fully switched off.
no, you really don't switch off. You're like still at work. I feel like that way. Like I'm still kind of at work, even though I'm absolutely not anymore. But like that's the way it feels.
I get you. I'm the same because you're like, yep, something's coming up. I gotta be ready.
Great piece of advice.
Okay, so Yvonne, number 2, what are we getting?
Number two. Okay. This is the words of one of my fave drag queens, RuPaul. Yep, my third piece of advice is also going to be from a drag queen, a different one. But number two, okay, so I heard on RuPaul's Drag Race and on RuPaul's podcast a number of times, if they're not paying your bills, pay those bitches no mind.
That's really good.
I fucking love it. A mantra of mine now. Like, such an important piece of information that I learned. I have never forgotten it, and I'm like, that, yes. For two
Yeah.
reasons. The first reason is that I do believe in a level of professionalism. So if they are paying your bills, do pay those bitches some mind. Okay, not too much, but a little bit will do.
Yeah.
You know, I do believe that, you know, we have to be professional. I believe that we're in an organized society and there's certain rules to adhere to at work. Okay, I think that's important to note. However, for all the other people, fuck that shit. Absolutely. Don't be worrying about what anyone thinks about you. You are perfect as you are. You are meant to be here. You are meant to be who you are. And if you were not who you are, we would be missing you. So be yourself. And I really mean that. Like, don't even worry about what you are or who you are, what you look like, any of those things. They mean shit. What matters is that you are being yourself and that you're awesome and that you have to embrace that person.
I think you're totally right.
Yeah, like I have been a weirdo since the day I popped out, like an absolute freak. And I seriously thought, like in secondary school, that if anyone knew what I was really like, Jesus, that they would hate me. Like I wished I was normal, like all the other people. But then I started to realize as I grew up, we're all weird, and everyone else was just as weird as me. Maybe they were just better at pretending. But like it was useless anyway, because now that's what makes me me. That's why people like me, and that's my personality. And that's why I like other people. Like, I don't like people for being normal. I like the quirks of people. I like the weird things about people and the interesting things about people. Not like, oh, aren't you lovely? You fit right in the crowd. Like, don't need to bother. Be yourself.
I think you're right as well. Like so many people spend so much time constructing a version of themselves that they think is presentable to the world. Like, you know, if they go to social media as a, and like say an example of that. But I'm not talking about the influencers. I'm talking about your best mate who's trying to show their best life, and you know they're miserable because all they do is complain about everything. Like, and you're just like, be a weirdo. Put the photo of you upside down because you fell over, or you know what I mean. Laugh when you fall. Don't be like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. Obviously,
Yeah, there's no need.
to get back to me falling off the bench earlier.
Yeah, I'm having some really nice flashbacks of that moment.
Like you just accept it. It happened. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't gonna go, oh god, you saw that. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just like, nah, that was stupid.
I'm so glad I did see that. If I didn't, I'd be disappointed. That was one of the highlights of my day.
It was such a funny moment.
It was just so slow.
And it was slow for me too. That's the worst part. Like I could see it, I knew it, and I was like, it's happening. I'm going down.
I wish you could have seen it from my angle. Like mid chest press, just like, what is happening over there?
And she's gone.
And then so good. So good. But yes, that is my number 2 piece of advice. Just be professional at work. Apart from that, be a freak.
That's good.
What's your second piece of advice for the listeners?
I suppose this is another one that kind of actually ties in with your one. You keep making me think of things, and they're kind of similar, but like kind of different at the same time. So this one is: do not take advice from someone you wouldn't switch places with. This can go in loads of different things. Like, say for instance, for business part, for like say, there'll always be like a family member or someone who'll be like, are you sure you want to do that? Like, should you not just like do this? Like, oh, you're still doing that? Or people like they'll be like, you know, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to take that risk. And you're like, okay, but you're miserable in your job, and you're just, or you're a stay-at-home mom, and I don't want to be that. Like, you know. So
Yeah.
why would I care what you're saying about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. When it comes to other stuff like that, it's all, you know, people say you shouldn't date someone. Okay, but they're single. So why would you take
Yeah.
relationship advice from a single person?
So harsh.
But you know what I mean, though? Like, if someone is giving you, like, you know, if you say, like, oh, we had a disagreement over something, and you're telling your mate, and your mate's like, oh, do you really think you should be staying with them, you know? You know, does it really work out, or is it really working? You know, maybe you should play it cool and don't talk to them for a few days. But they're single, have not had a long-term relationship once in their life. How the
Yeah.
hell do they know? What do they know? Like,
That is actually terrible advice as well. The play it cool for a few days and just don't talk for a few days. Oh, people used to tell me that all the time because I'm a heart on my sleeve kind of person. Like if I liked a guy growing up or whatever, I would be like, I really fancy you. I fancy you a lot. We should be married and have kids. And
you like me too?
people be like, Yvonne, maybe you should like play it cool and mysterious. And I'm like, no, that's not who I am. I'm not
I want to
cool
head with them.
and mysterious.
And were they
Now
single?
now I got the man of my dreams. So,
See,
joke's
it
on
works
you.
out better.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think play it cool ever really happened. Worked for me getting relationships.
Yeah, I just don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I'm like, you're cute.
Just kind of
Um,
all or nothing kind of person. I'm like, if I like you, I like you. I'ma say it.
but yeah, so that was just my things. Like, you know, if you ever have someone giving you advice on something or give, because everyone has their 2 cents to give you about something,
For sure.
and like, you know, they'll always have an opinion and tell you this and the other. But just think about it before you take any weight on what they say, or you let it hurt you or affect you. Be like, would I switch with them? And if the answer is no, then you just go, okay, very nice, thank you for your opinion, and then in your head go, shut up, bitch.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. It's good to know, or like it's good to note that people are always gonna do that. They're like, especially we're speaking about self-employment a lot in this one, but I've noticed it so much as well in self-employment. Like people have their opinions and will say how they would have done it or how it was done then and whatever. And like if it's not right for you, like if you're running your own business or you're self-employed or whatever it is, and it's not, you don't want to do it that way, you don't have to do it their way. If you're happy with your way and you stand by it, just do it your way. That's okay.
yeah, exactly.
I've heard a million things about how I should grow my yoga business and this, that, and I should do like this, whatever. I've heard a million people who told me as well when I started that I couldn't be a full-time yoga teacher, that I was never going to do that. And I had that done within a few months, like, because I really believed in myself and I was like, well, I can be a full-time yoga teacher actually. And done, like I did it because no, it wasn't like done. I had to work really, really hard
Yeah,
to,
yeah. Like
but
you used their negativity as fuel, really, didn't you, to
yeah,
prove them
I was
wrong?
like, don't you tell me what I can't do. Now, turns out I actually am not a full-time yoga teacher anymore because it was really hard on my body, but not because I can't, because I've chosen not to, and that's different.
Exactly. Yeah, you tried it; it didn't work for you, and you decided it didn't work for you. So that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with going and changing your mind if you've gone and tried it. You know, if
Yes.
you gave it a go, it didn't work for you. That's fine. You can
Yeah.
come back and go, yeah, I can't be a full-time yoga teacher, but at least you can come back with relevant, like, information to be like, yeah, no, I gave it a go and it didn't work out. Fair enough, but
Yeah.
at least you didn't listen to them. You know.
Yeah, I think just so many people told me, oh, there's so many yoga teachers out there and there's not enough studios. So, the newer teachers have a really hard time getting work. And it was hard. And I had to put myself out there in ways that I've never done before. And I really had to take some risks. And some of it was a little bit scary. And oh God, like going up to people and shaking their hands. But I did it.
Thank God for
And
COVID, don't you?
yeah, well, now what would you do? Go up to someone with a face mask? Like, I'd say that must be so hard.
Elbow.
Elbow bump with a face mask on. Like, that's not easy to communicate that you're a nice, friendly, approachable person if you have a face mask on.
Lure them in with your eyes.
Yes, you just have to very seductive eyes or wink or something.
Wink. Okay, hold on. This isn't a yoga studio. This is a brothel.
Yeah, maybe don't wink. No, good advice overall. Great advice.
So, you have another piece for us. What is it? God, that
Okay,
sounded really sarcastic. No, I mean it.
and I really do. This is my last one for this evening. It's also from a drag queen called Latrice Royale. If you don't know her, look her up. She is an inspo. I love her. And okay, I'm gonna say that this is paraphrasing. I may get a word or two wrong, okay, because it's a long one, but I'm gonna do my best. So she says, "Don't worry about making mistakes. We will all fall. But get up, look sickening, and let them eat it."
Ah, legend.
Yes, Latrice. Now, I paraphrased because I can't remember everything word for word, but that's the gist. If you fall, get the fuck up, sister. Like, you will fall. We all fall. We will fall over. We will make mistakes. We will fuck it up. We will. And if you don't, you are a robot and you are not a human, and go back to the robot shop.
Go back to the robot shop.
You're a human. You're gonna get it all wrong and you're gonna cry and things are gonna go wrong. And that's all part of the crazy experience of being a human on planet Earth. It's fucking weird. Okay, we gotta accept that it's all weird and it's fucked. However, you do have the power to get the fuck back up. You can do it. I'm so cursy because I'm passionate about this.
Very passionate today.
Yeah, I think I'm just really hungry. I'm just really buzzing about my steak. So I actually reached out to Latrice Royale and she commented me back. Okay, I'm just gonna say that because I feel like that's my claim to fame. Because that stuck by me, those words of wisdom, like let them eat it, like just show them, like prove them wrong, like you are amazing. And also I enjoy look sickening because
Yeah.
sometimes if you feel fucking shit, you need to like make yourself feel fabulous, put your makeup on, wear something awesome, feel like a boss, and just let everyone around you know that you are fucking deadly. And you are deadly.
Yeah. You do actually, isn't it like sometimes just do that? Like if you just dress up a little bit, you're like, yeah, bitches, I am.
Totally. Like I spend my life in leggings and a t-shirt and with no makeup and probably smell a little bit like sweat and maybe a little bit like incense most of the time. And if I ever
I'm like the same without the incense.
yeah, like even if I shower in the morning, I'm in a sweaty gym or yoga studio within a few minutes. So like I just constantly am in need of a shower. Like it's all the time. But yeah, if I make the effort someday, like if I'm going out or something and I actually dress up a little bit, I'm like, oh, check her out. She's so hot.
I'm the same. Like I always take a selfie because I'm like, hot damn, look what I can do.
Yeah, like the difference. Imagine you were like that every day. Like imagine, people who put that work in every day. Like absolutely hats off to you. Like I
Oh,
definitely
I'm
do not.
impressed.
But like
No, I'm actually, yeah, I like that people have the commitment to that effort. I'm like, well done, you guys. As minimally presentable as I can make myself, that is me.
yeah, like I do I just about look like I'm awake and dressed. I
Yeah,
did
same.
feel a bit cool in my Inferno t-shirt tonight though, not gonna lie.
Yeah, pretty fancy.
Yeah, I actually really like it.
Same. So cooler.
Yeah, well, I never experienced the other one, but I don't want to.
It's actually not that bad. It's just like me.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. So yeah, that is my final piece of advice. If you fall, get up, make yourself look sexy, and let everyone around you know that you are a sexy boss.
Yes, that is really good. It's just such a positive piece of advice, isn't it?
Latrice Royale in general is just fucking, oh, she's a god to me. Like, I love her. I love drag queens, but
Yeah.
like, and this is a part of the reason why I love drag is that, like, these people have been through so much hell. Like, to, like, imagine the ridicule as a young boy that you must have to go through to be like, yes, I'm going to dress up like a girl and I'm going to be proud of it. And it's a skill, like it takes so much work for them to get to the level of like perfection. Like makeup skills, acting skills, like design, fashion, everything.
I'm totally jealous of their makeup
Oh,
skills. I'm like, damn, teach me your things.
absolute legends. Like they are doing something that they must have had a hard, like I would imagine most boys who grow up to be drag queens were bullied at one stage to go through,
Oh,
or
definitely.
at least made fun of or whatever for doing it. Like, and I just think it is so brave. I think it is so gorgeous. I love when people fuck with binaries. I love when people fuck with gender. Like, I love when people are a bit of both. And I'm not saying all drag queens, by the way, are bisex or anything. Just like, I just love when people aren't afraid to fuck with the rules.
But they're a real example of following your dream no matter what, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like they wanted to do it and they went and did it and they went like, and they have had the most people tell them they shouldn't, they can't, they shouldn't, whatever, and they do it
I
anyway.
know, it's so inspiring. So inspiring. And I just think it's such an inspiration for like drag in general, and drag culture is such an inspiration for young people growing up, just that like you can be whatever the fuck you want to be. And drag is so like body positive, and like you can be a big
Yeah.
queen, a small queen, whatever the fuck you are, you're fabulous. And I love it. I think I was born a drag queen. I think I just maybe got misgendered.
You're not a drag queen, you're a girl.
I think I'm just gonna have to dress up in drag someday just to be like, yes. I just feel like it's in me.
Does that mean you have to like wear a suit and a pair of jeans and like
No,
look like a dude?
no, I don't. That's already what I do. No, I want to do the other type. I want to be like hyper feminine.
So with that, I think that is a good place to leave it. What do you think, Yvonne?
Yes, I think they are 5 super pieces of advice.
And we can't be drag queens, to be honest. Like, how are we going to be drag queens?
Nobody can. They're the best.
So with that, Yvonne, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you if they're looking for
Yes,
you?
of course. So you can find me on Instagram at Yvonne_Hegarty_yoga. You can find me on TikTok at Yvonne Hega, and our Why Not podcast Instagram, it's at y.not podcast. Crazy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is at Chrissy H Fitness. So CHRISSY, H for Hawkins, and fitness, the word. And then I'm also on TikTok, messing about, being an idiot, and it's at Chrissy H Fit. So I just dropped the ness, to be honest.
Super. Thanks for the great chat and the great advice, Chrissy. It was great to talk to you as always. And thank you for all the lovely listeners for tuning in. And we will speak to you all next week.
Yeah, thanks a mil, guys, and thank you too,
You're
Yvonne.
welcome. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you again for listening to the Why Not podcast. Because remember, in a world where everybody asks why, we're here to ask why not.